The world is louder than ever, but your greatest power lives in silence. While everyone is chasing noise, the few who look inward are building empires from the inside out. External noise is the enemy of self-mastery. It sounds simple, but the truth buried in that sentence is what separates the average from the exceptional. Every moment you wake up and reach for your phone before your thoughts have even settled, you've already surrendered control. Every notification you check, every news headline you react to, every opinion you absorb without questioning it all becomes a layer of distraction that pulls you further from the person you're meant to become. People talk about working harder, sleeping less, hustling more, but they don't talk about the mental clarity required to do all that with purpose. Without direction, hustle is just movement. You can run at full speed in the wrong direction and call it progress, but it isn't. It's noise. And most people are addicted to it. When you focus outward, you start to live in reaction. You react to what people say about you. You react to the doubts they project. You react to competition, to comparison, to the fear of being left behind. But when you shift the axis inward, when you stop chasing external validation, something changes. You start responding instead of reacting. You start building from a place of intention. The reason self-mastery is so rare is because it requires you to ignore the world long enough to understand yourself. That's not easy. There's always pressure to conform, to respond, to stay relevant. But relevance is a distraction if it's not rooted in your own internal compass. The loud world will tell you what success looks like. The quiet mind will show you what success feels like. One leads to burnout. The other leads to fulfillment. The greatest achievers in any domain, science, athletics, art, business, aren't those who listen the most. They're those who filter the most. They know what to ignore. They know what to lock into. They've built the muscle of focus in a world that tries to rob it from them every second. To master yourself, you have to master your attention. To master your attention, you must silence the noise. Not once, not occasionally, relentlessly. That's when power begins to shift. Not in the world around you. Inward focus breeds clarity, and clarity fuels power. Most people are chasing power from the outside in believing that success, status, or money will somehow give them control. But real power doesn't come from chasing. It comes from knowing. And you can only truly know when your mind is clear. You can only see your path when the fog of distraction, doubt, and mental clutter is gone. Clarity is not something you stumble upon. It's something you cultivate. It's the result of removing what doesn't matter so you can finally see what does. And the only way to do that is by going inward. Not once. Not just when life forces you to, but as a daily discipline. When your attention turns inward, you begin to notice things most people miss. The micro decisions that shape your day, the unconscious patterns that drive your behavior, the false narratives you've absorbed about who you are and what you're capable of. With inward focus, you gain the sharpness to dissect these things, not with judgment, but with precision. That precision becomes your edge. Clarity allows you to stop wasting energy on battles that aren't yours to fight. It gives you the strength to say no, not out of fear or laziness, but out of focus. Because when you're clear on your mission, distractions don't tempt you. They repel you. Every action becomes intentional. Every word measured. Every goal aligned with something real. And from that place of clarity, power begins to build. Not the kind of power that flexes or screams for attention, but the kind that radiates from within. The power of someone who knows exactly where they're going and doesn't need applause to keep walking. That's a different level of energy. It intimidates the insecure and inspires the disciplined. The world often mistakes speed for strength, noise for knowledge, and chaos for ambition. Not luck. It's not even intelligence that separates the great from the forgotten. It's discipline, the ability to command your thoughts, direct your emotions, and follow through with your actions, even when everything inside you is screaming for comfort. That's the silent force behind every extraordinary life. Most people think discipline is about routines or habits, and yes, those matter. But at its core, discipline is mental warfare. It's the battle between your higher self and your lower impulses. Every morning, every hour, every decision, you're either feeding your strength or feeding your weakness. Discipline is what tips the scale. The mind, if left unchecked, will always default to ease. It will seek validation, comfort, escape. It will justify shortcuts. It will whisper lies to keep you average. That's why mental discipline is so powerful, because it lets you interrupt the script. It lets you observe the urge, feel the resistance, and act anyway. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. Mental discipline rarely gets applause, but it builds everything. It's what makes you show up when no one's watching. It's what makes you shut out the noise and stay locked in on your mission. It's what gives you the stamina to keep swinging when the results aren't showing yet. And here's the truth: mental discipline isn't just about pushing hard. It's also about pulling back when necessary. It's about knowing when to rest, when to recover, when to reflect. Because burnout isn't strength, it's imbalance. Discipline gives you the self-awareness to calibrate, not just dominate. What makes it the ultimate edge is that it's transferable. Once you build it in one area, training, focus, learning, it bleeds into every other domain of your life. Relationships improve, finances sharpen, creativity expands, and impulse. That's the greatest weapon you can carry. Your greatest assets lie dormant inside you. You've been taught to look outward for value, to chase certifications, status, applause, and approval. The world has conditioned you to believe that what you need is somewhere out there. But that belief is a lie. The truth? What you're searching for already exists within you. It's just buried under layers of noise, fear, and conditioning. There is strength inside you that you haven't accessed. There is clarity you haven't heard. There is creativity that has never been unleashed, not because it's not there, but because you've never gone deep enough to tap into it. You're operating with a fraction of your potential because you've been too distracted to go inward and unlock the rest. This is why silence matters. Why solitude matters. Because it forces you to listen, to pay attention to that inner world where all your real power lives. When you strip away distractions, you start to uncover forgotten instincts, buried confidence, and dormant energy waiting to be activated. In those quiet moments, you realize something profound. You are not broken. You are not lacking. You are simply untapped. The mind, when left unexplored, becomes a prison. But when you begin to explore it, when you face your doubts, challenge your limits, and question the lies, you begin to discover the raw material of greatness. Self-belief, vision, drive, endurance, all of it is there. But it doesn't scream for attention like the outside world does. It whispers. And if you don't listen, you'll miss it. Everything you want to become begins with recognizing what's already inside you. The fire doesn't come from motivation videos or empty hype. It comes from the realization that you've been holding back, and now you're done playing small. You don't need more validation. You need more excavation. Dig deeper. Sit with your thoughts. Challenge your patterns. Ask yourself brutally and honestly, what am I capable of that I've been too afraid to face? Because the version of you you're chasing, it's not a dream, it's a decision. And the only thing standing in the way is your refusal to look inward. The gold is in the ground, and the ground is you. Those who control their inner world control their destiny. Life is not determined by circumstance, it's determined by interpretation. Two people can face the same obstacle. One crumbles, the other rises. What makes the difference? Inner control. Not control over outcomes, but control over responses. Control over perception. Control over mindset. That's where real power begins. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you frame it. That's not just motivational fluff. It's the foundation of transformation. Because when you master your inner world, you stop reacting blindly to life. You start choosing your thoughts, managing your emotions, and directing your energy with purpose. The mistake most people make is they try to control the external world first. They chase results, manipulate people, and fight for dominance. But external success built on internal chaos is temporary. It will always collapse under pressure. Why? Because the real battlefield was never out there. It was always inside. Look at the most unshakable individuals, the ones who move with calm, with certainty, with quiet force. What do they have in common? They've cultivated an inner state that doesn't depend on the world cooperating. They've built a mental fortress. While others panic, they remain centered. While others doubt, they decide. While others react, they respond. This kind of inner mastery doesn't happen by accident. It's built through self-awareness, self-discipline, and relentless self-honesty. It means noticing the emotional storms before they take control. It means interrupting the fear spiral before it shapes your choices. It means choosing clarity over chaos even when chaos seems justified. And once you gain that kind of control, the world starts to bend. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You show up differently. You speak differently. You walk into rooms with a different energy. Opportunities respond. People notice. Momentum builds. Not from force, but from alignment. The outer world mirrors your inner world. If your mind is scattered, your life is scattered. If your mind is steady, your path becomes clear. This isn't theory, it's cause and effect. Master the internal, and the external follows. You are the architect of your reality. But the blueprint starts within. Control that, and the rest becomes inevitable. Stillness is a superpower in the age of distraction. In today's world, attention is under attack. Your phone lights up before your eyes even adjust to the morning light. Algorithms are engineered to hijack your focus. Opinions flood your mind before you've even formed your own. Noise is constant. Speed is glorified. And in the middle of all this chaos, the person who learns to be still, truly still, doesn't fall behind. They pull ahead. Stillness isn't laziness. It isn't withdrawal. It's not doing nothing. It's doing the most powerful thing possible, regaining control. It's the ability to pause, to breathe, and to see with clarity when everyone else is blinded by urgency. In a world where most people react, stillness allows you to respond. Think about it. How many mistakes in your life came from moving too fast? From acting before thinking? From speaking before reflecting? The modern world doesn't reward contemplation, but that's exactly why it's so valuable. The person who doesn't get pulled into the frenzy has leverage. Because while others are wasting energy chasing noise, you're building strength in silence. Stillness gives you space to hear your own voice, the one that's buried beneath comparison, fear, and pressure. It's in that silence that your real values rise to the surface. It's where decisions become wise, where plans become clean, and where emotions are processed, not projected. And here's the paradox. When you train yourself to be still, your movements become more precise. You waste less time, make fewer mistakes, and create more impact. That's because stillness isn't the absence of action, it's the prerequisite to powerful action. Just like a sniper slows their breath before taking the shot, you slow your mind before making the move that changes everything. Most people are addicted to motion. They equate movement with progress. But stillness reveals something deeper. Are you actually moving forward or just running in circles? The still person knows. The still person waits not with fear, but with focus. And when the moment comes to strike, they strike with precision, with intent, and with full force. In a distracted world, stillness is rebellion. In a reactive world, stillness is control. And in a chaotic world, stillness is clarity. Those who master it aren't left behind, they lead. Inward focus is not retreat. It's a return to your real power. Because the moment you master what's within, nothing outside can break you. You were never lacking, you were just distracted. Now it's time to silence the noise and awaken your full potential.